All right, looking at slopes of parallel lines. First thing we want to do is look at the slope in the given line, y equals negative 5x plus 6. The slope for this line is negative 5, and so the slope of the parallel line would be negative 5. Here our slope is 2/3. Parallel line would be the same. This is our horizontal line. So our slope would equal 0. There is 0 steepness. And this is our vertical. And we would say here that our slope is undefined. There's nothing but steepness. So, okay, definition of perpendicular lines. This is our notation for perpendicular. And perpendicular lines meet / form right angles. Slope-intercept form of an equation. Y, which is your output, equals m for your slope. X is your input, and plus b is your y-intercept. Point slope form is going to be y minus your given y, which is y1, equals your slope, which should be given, or you would be given 2 points to calculate slope, times x minus your given x. Slopes of horizontal lines are 0, 0 steepness. Slopes of vertical lines are undefined. Okay. Moving on, more equations of lines given perpendicular through a given point. Remember that the slopes of parallel lines are the same, meaning m equals m, and slopes of perpendicular lines are opposite signs, so you should always have one positive and one that's negative. And they are reciprocals. Meaning they would flip. Okay, so now here we have parallel lines and our slopes are the same. I just count some friendly points. And for this one, I know it's negative, but I have a drop of 2 and a run of 1, 2, 3, 4. Would simplify, so negative 2 over 4 would simplify to negative 1/2. Over here, this one, if I pick some friendly points on this one, this has got a positive slope. And I've got a rise of 2 and a run of 3. This line here, line R, if I pick some friendly points, I've got a drop of 3 and a run of 2. Since these are opposite signs, positive, negative, and flip, they are reciprocals, I know that these are perpendicular lines. Okay, if I am given a line, I want to state the slope of the parallel. So that's my given slope, my parallel slope. My perpendicular slope would have to be negative because those are positive. And it would be the reciprocal of 3, which is 1/3. Given slope, parallel slope, perpendicular would have to be positive. And the reciprocal is 1/6. We should be able to work a couple of those on our own. Y equals a number. This is going to have a slope of 0. Parallel to something else, there'll be a slope of 0, Z-E-R-O. Y equals a number. Is always horizontal. And it's going to be perpendicular to any undefined slope. which is x equals a number. Here I have that x equals a number, so my slope is undefined. A parallel slope would be undefined. A perpendicular slope would be 0, for any y equals a number. Okay, now I am given a line, which tells me what a slope I'm looking at, and I have a point, a given point. This is my x1 and my y1, and I want to be perpendicular. So my given slope is -1/2. My perpendicular slope would be a +2. So I'm going to start with point slope form because I have a point and I've got a slope. I've got my slope and I've got my point. So I'm going to start with y minus my y1. I'm going to go with the slope, the slope that I need times x minus x1. I will simply distribute. Add 8 to both sides. And now I am in slope-intercept form. All right, we'll try one more. My given slope here is 2. A perpendicular slope would be a -1/2. I'm going to start with point slope. Y minus a -6 is y plus 6. And I'm going to have my -1/2 as my perpendicular slope times x minus -2, which is x plus 2. I will distribute. And then I will subtract 6 from both sides. And I am in slope-intercept form. You can finish the next one on your own. Okay, here I am perpendicular to y equals a number, so that has to be x equals a number, and since it contains that point, x has to equal 6. Perpendicular to x equals a number has to be y equals a number, and since it contains that point with y equals 2, it would have to be y equals 2. And here, just because I have one of these values as 0, it doesn't change. My perpendicular slope is going to be opposite or reciprocal of -1, which equals +1. Starting in point slope form, y minus a -4 is y plus 4 equals my slope of 1 times x minus 0, that's my x1. Subtract 4 from both sides. And I am in point slope form. Slope-intercept form. Okay, if we ramp it up a little bit, here we are given 2 points. So we will have to calculate our slope. My personal preference, I like to put my points on a T-chart. So I would have 2, 4, -1, 10. And for slope, I use the change in y, that's called delta y, over the change in x, which is delta x. So my change in y here is a +6, and my change in x here is a -3. So my delta y is a +6, and my delta x is a -3, making my slope -2. So the slope is -2, and my perpendicular slope would be a +1/2. You can probably do this one on your own. When we get here, one of the things I notice is that y value does not change, so the equation of that line is going to be y equals 4. That's my horizontal line. So my slope is 0, and my perpendicular slope is undefined. For D, my x value doesn't change, so my equation is x equals 9, so my slope is undefined. My perpendicular slope is going to be 0. All right, this final one, I'm just going to get you the setup. You're going to need to find your slope. You're changing y over your change in x, and you want to make sure that you're doing a line that's perpendicular to that. So you will find your slope, then you're going to find your perpendicular slope, and this is your x1 and your y1, and you're going to set up your information into the point slope form of y minus y1 equals, and you're going to use your perpendicular slope here, times x minus x1. All right, guys, hit me up with any questions. Hope everything is working out well with this, and I will see you soon. Thanks.